Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of the To The Point podcast. I'm your host, Noah Warren. This podcast has been an idea of mine for a long time. I love sports, I love movies, I love TV, and I love talking about big topics. So it only made sense for me to create a platform where I'm able to do that with people that I'm friends with, and also just with people that I want to learn from. So just a rundown in this podcast. I'll be talking a lot about sports, but also movies and other things. But just to give you an idea of what the schedule will be like, every Monday I'll be doing a podcast about the week's NFL. So Sunday's NFL games, who the MVP favorites are, who are great players that weekend, teams that I think are pretenders. So that'll happen every Monday. Tuesday, I will be joined every Tuesday night. I'll be doing a live show with my friend Seamus Fillmore. We'll be talking about the Fox show Next. It's about artificial intelligence and how it's really become a big part of our world. Even if some of you don't know, it's with computers and spyware hacking. I think it's very current, and it's a really interesting show. So we'll be talking about 1 to 2 episodes every podcast. I should be about an hour, maybe an hour and a half in length, and that'll be every Tuesday. After we're done the show Next, we'll be what we do is up to Seamus. I've given him the reins to pick all the content, any movie he wants to talk about, any show that he wants to break down, certain episodes of a show. I could see us doing an episode of The Office, U.S. show. It's one of my favorites and a show I never get tired of watching or talking about. So just keep posted on that. Every Wednesday, every bi-weekly, I'm going to do a show, and it's going to be called Watch and Learn, but it's going to be mostly for me. I'm going to have a guest on and talk about a big topic in society. So just an example, mental health, or the Black Lives Matter movement, things of that nature that I don't know everything about. I'm sure you guys might know more than me, but don't know everything about, and I can ask questions and I can learn. I've dealt with people who've had mental health problems. I know it exists. When I started university, a little over 4 years ago, I didn't believe in mental health. I just thought it was a joke. I didn't think it was real. I thought it was people complaining about their problems. I was ignorant and I was wrong. But I know people that are expert, therapists, psychologists, things of that nature. So to have somebody on like that and to talk about it, I think would be really interesting. Also, I might have, business people, just prominent people in their field, and just talk about their journey, how they got to where they are, and what, really drives them and what makes this their passion. Every Sunday, I will be doing a countdown to kickoff show before the NFL. So I'd like to do this with a guest. Occasionally, it may just be me, but I will have a guest with me. We'll be talking about all the games leading up, and just the NFL. There's so much content in the NFL every week. There's coaches that are changing quarterbacks. There's with the whole COVID-19 situation and players, being in and out, and it's a whole wheel of confusion this season in the NFL. So um, that'll be fun. Next Sunday, I think I'll be joined by my friend and former teacher Adam Beers. So I'll keep you posted on that. Also, during the week, I'd like to do when the hockey season, NBA season starts, I will be doing a Friday podcast with a friend or two, just talking about the NBA season, the NHL seasons. Um, as more sports start up again, I'll have more and more content, and I'll be podcasting more just because I'll have more to talk about when it comes to those topics. Also, when there's UFC events, I may do a live show before the event, or even I may do it during the event after fights, things of that nature. It's a sport that I've really gotten into in the last year and a half. Some people may see it as really barbaric, which it is, to be honest. But there's a certain art to fighting into boxing, and it's incredibly fun to watch. Dana White and USC do a really good job of keeping people entertained, keeping people motivated to watch it, and excited for these events. So it's a sport that's on the rise, and I'll be talking about ever so often. And just a reference for this podcast. This is a not scripted, not filtered show. So any guest is free to say whatever they want. I swear, for better or for worse, that's just, the way I am. So in this podcast, you will hear, fuck, shit, no racial terms or anything like that, but just normal speak. When I talk to people, I throw in an f-bomb. It just comes out free flowing, and this is how this podcast is going to be. It's a conversation. It's like an everyday conversation, and when I have people on, I'm not going to try to make them be PC if they don't want to be PC. If that's how they are, then that's I just want people to be who they are in this show. I don't want to try to direct people to be who they're not. Um, this podcast is really the anti version of a TSN/Sportsnet, because you know on those channels they're directed to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs for 35 out of a 45-minute show. That'll not be happening here. I will talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs because they're current, but I like to talk about every team. There's great players in every team. There are great players on Toronto, but there's better players across the league. So the mainstream teams of Toronto, Montreal, they'll be discussed here, but there's going to be 32 teams next season in NHL. So there's 30 other teams that have great players that deserve some notoriety and are doing great things as well. So yeah, I'm just very excited to get this going. My technology, I admit I'm not the greatest at it, so it's going to be a work in progress for me to get my mic situated, get everything going. If you notice things or you find my audio a bit glitchy, let me know in the comments, because I want to make this sound and look as good as possible. I still have some decorating to do behind me. I have some photos I'm going to put up that kind of illustrate some of my loves in my life. So like I said, this is going to be an experience for everybody. I want you guys to be a part of it. Leave your comments, leave topics you want me to talk about, or if you want to be a guest, I'm going to leave my email in my profiles on our social media pages, to the point. And you can email me if you want to be on, or just certain ideas, or anything that you want to talk to me about. I'm always open, and I'm not closed off to any idea, because if I'm the only one coming up with ideas, we're in trouble. So please feel free to add anything you'd like. So yeah, this is just like an introductory podcast. Tomorrow will be the first real one where I talk about today's NFL action. But I hope you guys can join the community. Let's have fun with it. I think this is going to be really a really fun experience for everybody. And just have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.